Готовы? Игра началась.
Всем привет, привет! Добро пожаловать на
Hi everyone,
12. Я очень
welcome.
рада здесь сегодня видеть. Меня зовут
I'm really happy to see you. My name is Julia Sarakina, and I'm in charge of
все те,
press communications in positive technologies. Hi everyone,
окунуться в мир
all those who are here with us in order to dive into the world of cybersecurity. Hi,
онлайн. Не переключайтесь. Сегодня
we are working online. Don't go away. You're going to hear a lot of interesting things. So, Positive Hack Days. What is it about?
12
It's a major cybersecurity event, and we're holding it for the 12th time.
истории.
And this year, for the first time,
Масштабный фестиваль для всех.
it's a large-scale festival for all
Интересные
those who are
кибербезопасности
interested in cybersecurity technology,
и прочие
digital
штучки, которые
essence,
нас окружают. Мы хотим,
and other
все вы понимали, как
groovy stuff that's around us.
мир и
We would like you to understand
комфортно и защищенно
what the surrounding
у нас на фестивале.
digital world is about and feel comfortable here.
Превратилась в цифровой город, где
The central part of this park is Digital City,
себя в роли
where a quest
следователя
has been
безопасности
organized
поискать
for you to feel as a hacker,
любой желающий. Приходите, начинайте, стартуйте
try to find vulnerabilities here.
до конца дня.
Everything is ready, so feel free to do so.
Нужно перейти по
To participate in the quest,
за спиной,
please use the link
начать это,
hidden in this QR code and go ahead.
которая традиционно
On the embankment,
теми, кто любит
which is traditionally
сегодня и вчера
the favorite place to all those who love boating.
часть форумов, которые
The security section is on.
все
It's for those who are interested in cybersecurity.
там происходит, мне
You can also see the standoff pavilion, which is accommodating one of the most important and interesting part of our agenda. It's a cyber contest
профессионалы борются за власть
or combat.
цифровым государством.
It's a competition for white hackers,
Специалисты по информационной
and their work is being observed by cybersecurity experts. You can get access to this pavilion if you take part in our quest,
вам, правда, принять участие в
and I highly recommend to do so,
настоящую кибербитву. Что будет
because it will allow you to witness a real cyber fight.
6-го здесь будет проходить
What's ahead?
популярная программа в рамках
Until 5:30 p.m., we're going to hold here
информационной безопасности
a great event at which
и
cybersecurity experts will share their vision of digital technology and information security
хотя это очень
in a clear-cut manner.
все-таки
If you're unable to attend it here because it's Saturday,
смотрите
So,
трансляцию онлайн.
if you fail to come, feel free to tune in and be with us online.
Вперед. С 18 часов вечера
Starting 6 p.m.,
музыкальный фестиваль «Маяк».
we are having here
Современные
a musical festival
и все это в сопровождении
which will welcome
музыки и
poets, musicians, singers.
на
So dive into the sea of
сегодня
entertainment and
Владимир Владимирович Маяковский.
music. By the way, our second host here today is Vladimir Mayakovsky, Russian poet.
Уже могли
Those of you who were here yesterday
шутки
could appreciate this guy,
прокатить.
his great jokes.
Ну что ж, а сейчас мы с
He
вами
is going to be with us today as well.
с сегодняшнего дня
Okay, it's good time for us to proceed to the first part of our today's
профессионально
endeavor. It's Super Quest.
собирал
What is it about?
именно экспертов, и на которые
Throughout the years, we have been holding this professional conference at which experts shared their knowledge, their vision. In the recent years, the situation
используют
changed drastically.
цифры.
We came to understanding that each and every of you using digital technology
И поэтому
encounters various dangers, various vulnerabilities, fraud attacks. So, in order to make your life easier in the future, to make it more comfortable
специалисты
and joyful,
на этой сцене
we decided to gather here on this stage the best
в информационной
experts in the area of cybersecurity to share with you in a plain and simple manner their knowledge of cybersecurity. So, what are the rules?
каждый из
We invited 9 speakers.
них очень важно
Each of them prepared their talk
записывать, потому что
on the
рекомендую
topic they consider to be most interesting and relevant,
секунду стать немного безопаснее.
and they will help you to improve your security right here and right now. So, as I said, we have 9 speakers, and it's their responsibility to share their knowledge with you in a plain and simple way.
То есть вы в
But the most important participants of this event
превратиться в
is the audience,
это будет
which means you.
мягкое жюри.
Well, we are also having here a board of jury. So actually, it's you who are going to be those jurors,
Определяем победителя.
and you will be deciding the winner,
Пора
choosing the winner with your
подходить.
wows and applauses.
Итак,
Well, it's a good time for us to begin.
и здесь сейчас
So I'm going away and passing it over to
в возрасте становления
the man
специалистами. На самом
who
деле,
introduced himself in the following manner. I became director
знает много чего.
while becoming an expert. So this guy knows a lot about cybersecurity. Moreover, he is a very open individual, which is a great benefit for you. And he also has
Первый раз
an extraordinary hobby.
популярным делом.
Oh, well, he is actually
Он нам с вами
a
расскажет
carpenter.
своего рода
It's for the first time that I meet an individual with such a hobby. He will make an introduction based
я думаю,
on his own experience as a director.
где ему работать. Сейчас на
Well, for those of you who have not decided yet
стать
where to go,
директором по информационной безопасности.
professionally, it's a great opportunity for you to listen attentively.
Давай,
And I'm inviting here Pavel Polikov.
пожалуйста, пока я не ушла.
Hi, Pavel.
Образом, столяр
While I'm still here,
тебе помогает
can you explain
в профессиональной жизни.
how does your hobby as a carpenter help you professionally? Well, it's easy. You work with your hands,
К сожалению,
and meanwhile your head is taking some rest and all the way around. Okay, that's interesting.
Тобой.
хорошо.
What is necessary for people to become themselves? The floor is all yours. Hi, everyone.
Сегодня
My name is Pavel Kulikov, and today I would like
меня когда-то, как специалиста по
to discuss
информации,
my own experience, my own journey as a professional
то есть про мой карьерный
in information security, how I became director responsible for information security.
как
Well,
любой человек,
my
который
career path as well.
вуз,
Like
да,
anyone,
при получении
like any university graduate,
передо мной открыты все двери.
I thought that all the doors would be open for me.
Каждый из нас, кто выпустился, конечно же, пошли работать в самые
Every
места, которые
graduate like myself
поэтому
wants to go to work
в равных условиях.
to
Первое ощущение,
take
которое было
the openness
выхода на
available to them.
работу, туда, что вот сейчас будут хакеры, что вот,
Oh, well,
что вот мы
I
сейчас...
also took my opening.
Конечно же,
We thought that
какой-то ассессмент, какой-то аудит.
we would encounter hackers, that we would go for job interviews, that there would be
Всегда готов.
audits. We were supported by reliable people
Начали
who were
с того, что
always there to help us.
культуру информационную
We began promoting the culture of information security.
готовым, что вот безопасность.
We thought that the most important and critical point
И самое главное,
was to be always prepared,
потом,
to be always on site at the office, and it was also important to always be sure that you were surrounded by friends at all times
То, что ты говоришь, и то, что
in order to develop
чтобы оно имело полный коннект
your approach to information security, to always stay in touch.
на виду. За тобой всегда будут смотреть. Ты, конечно,
And
свое мнение,
as a director, you are always out there, you're always seen.
твое
Of course, you can have your own opinion,
мнение,
but you should always align your opinion with the opinions of those who are by your side.
и, конечно, люди будут идти на
And of course, we thought that people would always be open and welcoming,
национальному корпоративному
helping you, underpinning your professional development,
со всякими угрозами.
especially
Этих людей
in your attempts to counter threats. And you will also be taking those people as a threat.
барабан,
Well,
который ты будешь...
You would always have support,
Но в случае
and you would have this drum
оппонентов
to produce
специальный набор
percussions to call those people
поддержки вот этого
to help you.
ты попадешь на разговор.
And with the help of all those tools, including this documentation, you will reach the most important person.
После начала карьеры
Usually it happens after about 3 to 4 years
бюджеты участия.
since the beginning of your career path.
Очень
Then
интересно,
it comes to the budget,
которые составляют
plans,
какие-то однотипные.
interesting projects which may look all the same,
Самое главное,
although in reality they're all different. And the most important thing
с внешней стороны
is to avoid an impression when everything is secure inside while the window is still open.
момент, когда
And at a certain point in time, like with any cybersecurity guy,
когда надо сделать выбор, а безопасность она должна быть с какой
you find yourself at a crossroad
стороны.
to make a decision where the security is.
Подумать.
Is it inside or outside? And it's a good time to start thinking.
От того, чтобы
And some movement begins,
privacy строить,
some departure from your privacy
а вот
in
это
favor of security.
проект, который получится. Вот
And
эти
you think this is going to be the best project.
изменения будут
This movement from privacy to security. But even though it will open great
безопасность,
prospects for you
непрерывный процесс.
in your struggle for peace, you shouldn't forget that
Тот путь,
security is a continuous process. And never hesitate to look back. Thank you.
Паша,
Я
как,
быстрее.
как быстро ты закончил.
Well, I was really fast. Yes, it was fast.
Коли так
Tell me, please,
в такой короткий промежуток времени ужать всю
is it really easy to be so concise?
пришлось
Oh, well, it requires quite an effort.
сделать Буратино.
Is it harder than making a Pinocchio? Yes, it is.
Готовы ли ваши ладошки? У нас с вами на
Friends.
сцене был Павел.
Are you ready with your hands? It was Pavel Kulikov. Please get your hands together to give him a round of applause.
Меряем наши децибелы. Замерили? Все в порядке?
Oh, well,
Спасибо тебе огромное.
dear auditors, are you measuring?
Ты самым лучшим.
Pavel, please don't go away. The probability is high that you will be the best today.
На нашем мероприятии много и все время, и ежегодно говорим
We have
о людях, которые...
a lot of time here
Мы говорим про белых,
to discuss people
мы
who
любим
call themselves
поголовки.
hackers. We distinguish white hackers and black hackers. We like the white ones while preferring to counter the black ones.
И сказал,
By all means.
я бы сказала, что, наверное,
And
лучше
now I would like to invite here an individual
еще до
who
того,
has
как
been
все с вами
who used to catch hackers even before we came up with this definition and got used to him.
промежуток времени пройти очень большой путь от
Got used to it.
то, что в профессиональном,
Well, this individual
профессиональном сленге называется первые
has
линии СОК.
completed
Это тот, кто
quite significant journey starting from the first line of defense experience,
который...
having been someone who was in charge of the dirty work.
Таково же он
You know what it means when you come to a monitoring center, you see it. And having started from that position, he grew the way up to being in charge of international relationships and putting in place major hacking prevention centers.
доля правды, говорит о том, что
Well,
руководитель командой
don't take it for bragging. However, today he's in charge of a team of experts who can solve any problem in the sphere of cybersecurity. Well, listen to him, and should anything happen to you,
говорит письмо, какое-то странное сообщение.
whether it is a problem with Instagram or a phishing letter
И он отвечает.
that you may have received,
Кстати,
don't hesitate to approach him, and he will help you out.
участники отличаются разными.
By the way,
Вот до этого был
all our participants
занимается столярным делом.
have some hobby.
Человека могу сказать,
The previous guy is a carpenter.
стрим и
This one
водит машину очень
loves
быстро.
extreme sports.
Если есть ПДД, то он на грани.
He is a car racer.
Особо важно, потому
Well, regardless of the rules of the road,
что, правда,
he is always the fastest one.
компания Positive Technology.
Alexei Novikov from Positive Technologies. The floor is all yours.
Всем привет!
Скажи,
Hi,
мы
everyone.
можем получить помощь, если у нас увели Инстаграм?
Can we really get help from you should there be a problem? Yes, of course.
Коллег, которые будут выступать,
And I think
тоже расскажут
many colleagues who will be talking after me
и другие
will also
месседжи.
share with you some information
На всех остальных
how to make sure that your Instagram or Messenger accounts are not stolen. So please remember this guy, and should anything happen, turn to him.
Меня зовут...
Hi everyone, once more. My name is Alexei Novikov.
Я занимаюсь
I'm an expert in information security. I've been doing that for 15 plus years. On top of this, I have 3 children
разного возраста. 13, 8 и...
of different ages, 13, 8, and 5. Why am I talking about it?
Очень часто, когда я смотрю на своих детей,
It's because quite often when I look at my children
я еще и
and see how they deal with digital technology, I remember the rules of the road.
где-то 140
Let's recall it.
лет тому назад
So 140 years ago,
появляться массово автомобили. И что у нас?
the automobile came to the roads.
Гужевой транспорт,
What
лодки,
happened then?
воды.
All those vehicles, cars,
Кто должен уступать дорогу, кто
horse
ехать
carts,
первый, кто последний.
unclear who should yield to whom,
Текущие жители городов,
who should go first,
текущие
who should go next.
деревень.
In those circumstances,
И испытывали разные
the
чувства.
locals
Они испытывали
looked at it,
страх, удивление.
feeling different feelings, experiencing different feelings, including fear,
Реагируете, как с ними?
surprise.
Спустя
Well, they didn't know how to interact with all those vehicles.
во
Then, starting
придумывать первые
1893,
дорожного движения, которые
the folks in France began designing the first traffic rules
какой должен
to regulate the traffic at crossroads,
количество
to enforce speed limits,
несчастных случаев, которые, кстати,
to eventually
уже были.
reduce the number of accidents.
Кибербезопасности.
Getting back to cybersecurity.
У кого есть дети, да?
Who of you have kids
Ага.
besides myself? Oh, that's great.
Мы сейчас живем точно в таком же мире, когда
Today,
есть новые
we live
технологии.
in a world that is similar to the world that existed
Есть
at
смартфон.
the very beginning of digital technology era. We all have smartphones, we all use smart TVs, we use rental vehicles,
На которых можно покататься,
we
когда мы
ride those scooters,
либо кнопку,
and every time you click a button in an application, you don't think what you're doing. We are surrounded by the digital world, and quite often our children
в руки в очень раннем возрасте.
get their first tablet
Просто даем
at
планшет.
a very early age. What do? We just
Утром
give it to them.
хочется поспать подольше.
Usually,
Дети просыпаются в то же
on Saturday,
которое они
I prefer sleeping late.
прийти в садик.
But the kids, they wake up when they wake up.
Я отдал им в руки.
And in order
Как они с ним себя будут вести?
for them not to disturb you, you open your eyes and pass your
Учитывайте, что
tablet over to them.
перед этим
What do they do with it?
посмотреть YouTube. Вы вчера на этом YouTube какие-то
Well,
смотрели интересные
if
ролики, видео,
the day before
реклама.
you used it to watch YouTube
Вы им поставили.
with all those commercials, what's going to happen next?
К аналогии с ПДД.
And this brings me back to the rules of the road.
Что мы делаем, когда дети...
Let's remember,
Мы берем
what do we do when our toddlers
и показываем.
learn how to walk?
Зебра.
We take them by the hand,
Человечек, стой. Зеленый.
take them to the curb, and show them.
По большому
This is the pedestrian walk.
себя вести.
This is the traffic light.
Мы должны, давая планшет,
When it's red,
давая смартфон,
stop.
любое
When it's green,
устройство,
walk.
рассказывать
Why don't we do the same when we are giving them their first digital device, a tablet or something else? We should tell them
еще совсем маленькие,
what they cannot do.
их от этого цифрового.
And when they are still little, we should protect them from the digital world that may be a real danger for them,
Смотреть на текущие
a real threat.
технологии
If we look at the current digital technology,
может привести к реальному
just one
физическом мире.
inaccurate click
Доступ злоумышленников
or careless button push,
украли деньги.
and you gave your money away to a fraudster. You clicked on a link,
Эту ссылку
and your Instagram account is stolen.
делать.
And it can be your child, and as a result of their actions,
Ты можешь
your Instagram account is stolen.
и
Moreover, you can carelessly
невольному
click on a link
группировки и начать
and unwillingly become a participant of a hackers group,
специальную атаку, которая вызывает отказ в обслуживании,
helping those hackers to carry out a DDoS attack
к
on, say, some government resources,
неопределенными органами.
which may result
В тот момент времени,
in an undesirable encounter with the police. So every time we give a digital device to our children, we should immediately engage
момент
in educating them, telling them about the rules of cybersecurity.
знаю, будут дальше рассказывать мои коллеги.
That's what I am going to talk about, as well as my colleagues. The rules of cybersecurity
Но в этом
is the destiny of a very small group of people dealing with it professionally. I mean,
очень сильно
cybersecurity or information security.
вы тоже
But
понимаете, что
personally, I
доступно и
would like
остальным.
to make it available to and understandable by the rest of the folks. What should be done first place, or when you are first introducing your children to the digital technology, giving them a tablet or a handheld device? Set it up in such a way as to filter content. Make sure that this device
в детский режим.
limits
Каждого производителя
the range of resources your children may have access to.
специальные режимы, которые на
Every media player,
с возрастной категорией.
every app
Кто поднимал руку и
has settings allowing to do so.
планшета, либо
Those of you who have children, those of you who raise your hands, I'm sure that you have your tablets. Please raise your hands, those of you who do it,
сильно
who use those settings to limit
о том, что по мере того,
your children's access.
у них появляется необходимость
This time I see
в
your hands.
пересылать
When our children grow up,
правильный
they come to the necessity to exchange information,
кому-то отправить.
to send pictures,
Я готов,
exchange texts.
стало публично.
Before doing that,
Если
think,
я не готов, то это
ask
не
yourself.
стоит отправлять.
are you really ready to make this piece of information public?
Те угрозы,
If you are,
были на
send
протяжении
it.
всех этих
Otherwise,
что,
don't it.
что ты так или иначе отдал в цифровой мир,
The threats that we have been experiencing so far confirm that everything that you may have shared with the rest of the world
внимание. Дальше,
becomes public at a certain point in time. So we should never forget about that.
на текущий момент цифровой мир, если ты
Well,
не хочешь быть изгоем,
familiarize yourself with technology.
необходимость.
It is a necessity in today's world. Why? We use
Поликлиники,
services such as
государственные
online signing up
понимать, как работают эти
for public services,
для того, чтобы нас не постигли
to get appointments
ужасные последствия.
at a walk-in clinic, for example, or at a school for our children. So please get used to it
Критически думать
and make sure that your children are getting used to it as well.
спешите. Потому
And
что злоумышленники
never rush,
часто пытаются проэксплуатировать именно
because
спешку.
it is your rushing that
У тебя сегодня
those
день рождения, тебе исполнилось.
fraudsters out there usually exploit.
Ссылки, нажми
For
кнопку,
example,
заплати 500 рублей
it's your birthday,
за тебе,
and you get a message. There is a prize for you. Don't hesitate to click on this link, and you will get it tomorrow.
и который
This is a very
день рождения,
usual pattern,
нажимает
and quite often children, especially
вашу
if it's their birthday,
карточки, либо своей собственной.
see such a link and start clicking on it.
Много говорим о базовых правилах
Quite often we discuss basic rules of cyber hygiene,
дорожного движения кибербезопасности. Не
which act as rules of the road in the world
пароли.
of cybersecurity.
Многофакторная аутентификация.
Use passwords, use
Это как
multi-factor
дорожного движения.
authentication. All those things work
У нас
like the rules of the road
колеса автомобиля.
that have been enhanced for longer than 150 years. They are necessary not to find yourself in an accident.
Очень много
The same applies to cybersecurity.
в школе, в университетах есть уроки ОБЖ, но, к сожалению, на текущий момент отсутствуют
And we have different classes in the school that help us to orient
как пользоваться
in on the road and everywhere. So we also have to have something like that for the
сервисах.
different
Фишинговый ресурс.
digital devices, how to identify what is a phishing resource or not phishing resource. And we as a community of cybersecurity,
Движение
we are working on those traffic rules for
родителей,
cybersecurity
родителей,
that will be implemented. And we would like you as parents
садик. И попросить
to
провести специалистов
have a demand for that
кибербезопасности.
and go to the school, go to the kindergarten,
Именно
and talk to children,
организация
make these demands there,
вместе сделать так, чтобы
and help us to
в будущем пользовались цифровым
protect our children so that in the future our children would use digital technologies easily and simply, and they would be always protected. Thank you. Alexei, please don't leave the stage yet.
Скажи нам, пожалуйста, с
Could you tell us, please,
какого возраста детям нужно рассказывать про
at what age do you think children should be told about these traffic rules in cybersecurity? Well, I wouldn't say there is a particular age when you need to start to do that.
безопасности,
I think that you need to talk about the rules of cybersecurity. You need to tell them about it when you give them the tablet to use. 13,
3 лет я начинаю,
8, and 5, this is the age of my children, and I start talking to them about that.
когда я им даю первое цифровое устройство.
About the age of 4, something like that. At 3 years, I give them the tablet. So, did you have difficult situations with them? Yes.
Нет, обычно при
Or they were like whining and saying that something is not working there.
дай им 1500
They usually tell me that they want something playing the tablet.
в течение дня ребенка расстраиваете, объясняете.
And over the day, I had to explain to them that what they want wasn't a gift, and this is just
Ты ничего не получишь,
some
расстроен. У детей разочарование это вызывает.
attackers or some malicious perpetrators who were
дети начинают
trying to get advantage of them. So if you have children,
или иначе делают то, что мы называем
so they start doing something at 3-year-olds, and they just click
первый класс.
all over the place. And as soon as you have the first click, so you need to make sure that you talk to them about something very important. Of course, not about
О киберпреступниках, хакерах и
something that is not
том, что наша жизнь это не только розовые пони.
interesting for them, but talk to them about this, about the security,
детей в области кибербезопасности. Аплодируем погромче.
digital security. So please give him a hand, and
Вы аплодируете для того, чтобы
we measure how
выступил сегодня лучше всех.
loudly you applaud our speakers. We know how well they spoke, so please be secure, be safe.
А мы с вами едем дальше.
Okay, we go on.
Продолжается шоу «Феерия» из числа
Our show goes on,
информационной
and
безопасности.
here we invite people who deal with
Выйдет человек, который
cybersecurity. Now we'll have on stage a person who is on the one hand
безопасность на различных курсах. У него такой,
trains cybersecurity at different training courses.
в которых он работает.
He has a lot of clients, big companies where he used to work.
Там
And
есть
of course, you know all these companies.
крупные и известные.
These are one of the
Лист наш.
biggest companies and some
Теперь он как
big names that left our market.
позитив технолог.
Now he works in the company Positive Technologies, and I'm very happy about it. But the main thing is,
Ну, например,
he sings.
хочется послушать арию мистера.
For example,
То
if you want to hear this aria from one of those famous operettas,
свое хобби, вот это вот чудесное вокальное,
and his
садил на кибербезопасность, потому что, открою секрет,
vocal gift, he also uses it for cybersecurity. And I will tell you a secret.
гимн информационной безопасности.
He actually composed an anthem for cybersecurity, and he's looking for
Если среди вас есть таланты,
those who can arrange this music for an orchestra. And if you have this talent and who want to do cybersecurity, and you are musicians, so please come to us. We have something for you to do.
технологист Денис.
So here we are. Denis is here on stage from Positive Technologies. Hello. Hello.
Скажи, пожалуйста, был ли ты вчера на форуме?
Я вчера выступал.
Did you visit the forum yesterday?
Forum.
Yes, I
Согласен.
was there yesterday, and the forum is just amazing.
Главной сцены.
Have you heard anything that was here on the main stage? No, I didn't get to the main stage. Well, I understand.
И музыку умеет писать
Today-
искусственный интеллект. Ты после
Arrangements and music could be done by AI, and when you finished,
взять
I can tell you where to get
появится уже
the
завтра.
proper
Большое.
ways to get the access to AI and to have the anthem
Я так поняла, что
and to have the arrangement for it.
не нужны, он сам.
As I understand, AI doesn't need notes. Well, we can just play it for the AI, and AI will do its job.
Очень важную
Denis will tell you
паролей, которыми вы пользуетесь.
story about the passwords,
Дениса
passwords that you use. And I think that after his presentation, you will know what password should be and what symbols you need to use in the password.
Каждый из вас услышит для себя что-то важное.
Hello. I think today each of you will hear something important to yourself, and I would like to touch on the topic that is very important for children and parents, and actually the trust that we create with the
Бывает, что
passwords.
какие-то аккаунты.
Maybe you've heard that some of the accounts are stolen or gone.
Инстаграм, Телеграм.
Please raise your hand if you had something like that. Your Telegram or Instagram account was gone at some point. So everybody knows that it happens.
Мэтта Ходана, утекло все. Хакеры,
Matthew Hogan from Wired magazine,
потому что они у него.
hackers
Потом они
took his iCloud.
все его устройства. И
Then they blocked all his devices. They erased all information from them. Then they got access to his email that was a link to iCloud. Then they got access to Gmail, Twitter, and they erased all of it. So their goal was not just steal something, but to
поэтому мы об этом.
clean everything up.
И на самом
So he told us about it, and we know about it.
хранится огромное
Today, on the internet,
и персональное
we have a lot of internet information stored and data
государство, те же
that is stored by us, by the state, and
налоги,
госуслуги website,
банки,
banks,
что угодно сейчас
delivery,
там.
anything. Anything is stored
У нас там
on
спрашивают
the internet. So how we get access there? So
идентификация. И у нас там
this is called identification. And they ask us when we were different, they ask us, so prove that this is you are, and this is authentication.
мы доказываем,
So
что мы
So when we prove this is we are, so then we know a password.
пароля,
So with a password,
я знаю, что вы получаете доступ сейчас в многие системы.
you get access to many systems.
Я замечаю, и по статистике 80%
And what I noticed,
россиян
84% of Russians,
тот же пароль.
they use the same password for all
Давайте просто поднимем
social networks, social media. So who does that?
перед другом.
Raise your hand. Let's be frank.
Что
Okay, great.
если
So what does it mean? So if hacker
систем, значит,
hacks
пароль
one of the systems,
одной системы, но
it means that he'll know
пароли одинаковые, то здрасте
password from one system. But since all your passwords are the same, so here we go.
хакерам. Все,
You got it.
которые у вас-
So all your systems will be
Соответственно, что
hacked.
нужно делать? Ну,
because they have the same password. So what to do?
давайте
Standards of security, they say. So you need to come up with different passwords for different systems.
То есть,
So you need to consider a password as a key.
да, у вас есть ключ.
So keys are different. So
Пароли храните, ну или точнее ключи на связке. То есть
your keys are on the keychain, right?
ключница, в которой вы
So you have to have some sort of keychain where you keep your passwords from different systems.
парольный менеджер.
And I will tell you, this is called a password manager. So consider password as a key, then you'll think about it differently. So if one key opens
И
your
на работе и так далее,
apartment and
это
starts your car and all of it, so that's
есть люди,
not right.
говорят мне, я отлично использую
People tell me
пароль.
I kind of use
Кто
this master password.
придумал вот
So you have a very complex combination of symbols, and this combination that you can actually see on the screen,
очень сложно, и пароль реально
it's very complex, and and all systems say that's just 100% secure.
штучку, либо какой-то год,
But you add some little thing there, like some year 95 or Gmail or something.
опять же узнаете,
If a hacker
думаете, он догадается, какие пароли у вас на других.
finds your first password, how do you think they'll guess
Есть еще такая
what
штука,
are the passwords for all other systems? They do it automatically. So there is such a thing as predictability of the password. There's a
привел специально на слайде, ну, QWERTY, паспорт и так далее. Есть то же самое в
different passwords that they use,
которые вы
and all passwords that you come up with,
не надо,
they should be unexpected.
пожалуйста, из этого.
Don't make them typical
Соответственно,
from this
важно понимать, что
list.
бывают еще символы в паролях, да?
It's important to understand there are symbols in passwords. It's also a standard recommendation to add symbols.
Все используют два
Look at the statistics.
самых частых. Это
All people use
коммерческое «эд».
two
Используют
symbols
символы.
most often. This is exclamation mark and at.
Я рекомендую все-таки использовать хорошие.
So use others. So use good passwords. There are many rules how to do that. One of the rules
Вы пишете
is mnemonic one.
сразу, ну,
So
например,
you write
20 мая, прекрасный день,
a phrase.
поменять свой пароль на почту.
20th of May, beautiful day,
Вы это набираете
in order to change my password
буквами. Получается
for my email. So and if you
и вот эти первые символы
write it
вашим паролем.
with the English
Кавычки.
Keep
Как раз на предыдущем
board,
слайде
so this is what you're going to have.
встречаются, и их будут
So it's a rare thing.
выбирать. Поэтому
It's very hard to guess what it is. So that's why when you make good passwords, so use some mnemonic rules,
используйте
so spelled out on the internet, so use password generators. It's very hard to remember them.
это специальная программа,
So then for that, use
и которая вы
password manager. This is a special program that keeps all your passwords.
в ваши браузеры. Используйте
Actually,
и это
password manager is
проблема, что вот эти все
a part of your browsers. So use it.
нужные вам ресурсы. Злоумышленники
All these passwords, they protect some of your resources. When perpetrators, they steal
что многие
your account, you may even use your business. Some people who lost their Instagram account, they lost all their business. They can read everything you write
Apple Store
in your social media. They can block your
слайде
device, as you saw on the first slide. They can
денег у ваших друзей.
remove your Telegram account, and they can ask for money from your friends, and they can access to your private pictures. There are services
Пароль уже
that you can check
не утекший,
that your password
знаете. Но, например, я
is
этот сервис, не знаю,
leaked.
получится
So I recommend this service.
по Untold,
I don't know if you can read this password. So you can go and check your password.
сама процедура проверки пароля может быть опасной.
Obviously, the procedure of checking your password can be dangerous too, but this one is valid, so you can do that.
И здесь самый важный вопрос, который
And the most important question here is,
это часто ли
we recommend to answer it. how often
Здесь важно
do
понимать,
you
что
change your password?
пароли периодически утекают. И сегодня мы будем
Since
на
passwords
этой конференции много
are quite often leaked, and they speak about it at this conference
менять.
quite often, so you need to do it periodically, maybe once a year.
Поменяйте все-таки пароль
And what's
на свою
important,
электронную почту сегодня.
change your password to your email today. Do it. Since you came to this conference, then you have concerns about your
Подобрав
security.
пароль на какую-то другую
So
систему,
then,
узнать пароль от ошибки.
nobody will learn password to your email
То же самое я хотел бы сказать про пин-коды. Пин-код
that is linked to all your other accounts. So PIN codes.
23000 и так.
Oftentimes they use 111, 000, and many others. And sometimes they use months,
День рождения, допустим, или год.
some birthday or a year of your birthday. So please don't use that.
Начинают злоумышленники.
This is the first thing that the perpetrators start with. They start with the year
Ну и другие системы. Давайте повторим.
and other systems. So let's repeat what I want to tell you
Я сегодня вам
today.
сказал о том, что
First of all, I told you
пароли спасут
that unexpected passwords will save your accounts and your information, and even your money, and maybe your business. So please use those unexpected passwords. So I gave you some ideas how to do that. Unique passwords for your email also can save
можно восстановить пароль в какой-то
your account. So if you can
почту, которая могла уже
restore a password, it will be sent to your email that could have been hacked
на которой
by a hacker.
пароли.
So have a reserved
Должен был сказать,
email account where your password can come to.
это когда вы
And two-factor authentication.
включаете галочку,
Authentication.
это будет
Always
либо смс-ка на
click on this one. So it can be either SMS
телефон,
message,
который будет вас спрашивать,
or there will be
или нет. Так вот,
a special question to you.
будет называться вторым фактором.
Is it you or not? This will ask you this question. So the first factor is a password, and the second factor, this is something that, like your device, like your phone or something like that.
Сегодня важно, что присутствующие здесь на этой конференции получают
Today it's important that people who came to this conference, you get a lot of additional information. So please come to our booths,
И я также,
listen to
чтобы
other speakers,
паролями на этой конференции
and at least with passwords,
и
all of you who came here,
все было хорошо. Так что будьте
things will be good. So be alert,
выступления, ну, например,
be aware of what's going on,
приглашаю, ну,
listen to what we say, go to my channel, and so I invite you. So thank you very much for your attention.
Денис, спасибо тебе большое. Друзья мои, с нами был Денис Батран.
Thank you.
Компания Positive Technologies. У меня вопрос. Расскажи, пожалуйста,
Positive Technologies,
из
question to you.
советов ты используешь сам?
What advice that you just gave, you use yourself? I use all the tips that I talked about,
последнего совета.
and I started with the last one that I said. So all people who came to me, people say to me, something leaked, and I said, did you have a two-factor authentication? And they said yes. So and I said to them, so please, click on that tick, and
Последний совет советую, наверное,
on your phone, and have two-factor authentication.
Друзья мои,
So thank you.
мы с Денисом ждем ваших аплодисментов.
Myself and Denise, so please
Мы хотим понять, насколько
show us how good was Denise's presentation.
Спасибо, Денис. Я надеюсь, что ты будешь
Thank you, Dennis.
победителем сегодняшнего выступления.
I hope you will be a winner of today's presentation. Thank you. All the best.
Как вы заметили, люди, которые
As you noticed,
занимаются информационной безопасностью, у них есть
people who
две руки, две ноги,
work
и вообще
with
похожи на нас с вами. Точно
information security, they're just like us.
есть увлечения,
They have their hobbies,
так же, как мы, любят животных. Ну, например,
and they like
наш гость
pets, just like we do.
любит котиков. У него есть
Our
кот,
next guest, he likes cats, and he has
мечтают о поездке
this red cat whose name is Sigismund.
сам Польша,
He dreams to go.
захват власти.
They dream to go to Poland,
А еще он очень любит мультики.
to the castles of Poland. He likes cartoons and cryptography,
И своей работы курирует международные соревнования в области
and he also curates international contests in
Шиверов.
cybersecurity, information security. And his name is Pavel Shiverov. Hello, Pavel.
Добрый день, спасибо, что пришли.
Hello, everyone.
Что ты пришел?
Thank you for coming.
Пожалуйста, что такое Волга CTF?
Could you tell us what is Volga City app?
Разберемся, а вот с
Да,
CTF
с Польшей мы
проблема.
однажды разберемся, спасибо.
Thank you.
CTF — это международный
Volga CDF.
информационный
This is international contest in the cybersecurity, information security.
лет.
It's been around for 13 years.
Мы проводим, собираем тысячи команд со всего мира.
We bring thousands of teams from all over the world. In September, we'll have our finale. So every year it's held in Samara.
CTF — это соревнование.
What is CTF?
The Flag. Я думаю, что все...
Capture the Flag competition. I think you've heard about this format.
Парк Горького.
да,
Дети,
It's Saturday and it's Gorky Park.
да.
So the children, families,
Это соревнование
CTF,
Flag. Собираются ребята
Capture the Flag.
с безопасностью и
Competition, people who do information security and they're trying to hack each other,
хорошему CTF это
competing with each other. CTF, it's friendship. We love each other, we train each other, and we learn new skills.
будет много лет.
So please come. There will be a lot of
Можно будет попробовать что-то.
presentations, lectures, seminars, and you will be able to do something
Волгу, Самару в этом году,
in
надеюсь,
practice. So we'll go to Samara, to Volga.
В сентябре.
в сентябре.
It's going to be in September.
Хорошо. Но погода будет такой же хорошей, солнечной.
But the weather will be just as great as it is today.
Сейчас Паша погрузит вас в
So now Pavel will
любови, о которых я вам
tell you about his main loves,
и
cartoons
информационную безопасность.
and information
Называется
security.
Falls и общество
His presentation is Gravity Falls
глаза. Или все, что
and the Society of
Да, еще раз всем привет,
Dead Eye.
что вы пришли.
Thank you for coming.
Кто-нибудь из вас смотрел мультсериал Gravity Falls? Покричите, если смотрели.
Have you seen Gravity Falls cartoon series?
Отлично, супер.
Okay, great.
А к чему я, собственно, все это веду?
So why I'm saying this?
История. Весь мир вокруг нас
All our history, the whole world is filled with secrets and myths.
решает, разгадывает.
And people
Гораздо больше любят
say
новые.
that they like cracking those secrets, but actually people bring new secrets there, and the science about
И на самом деле криптография, если раньше это было
cryptography.
только очень узким кругам людей,
Cryptography was actually accessible only for a very narrow group of people, but now cryptography is all around us.
именно, на самом
The
деле,
whole previous talk was about this, about cryptography.
на примере мультика
For example,
очень хорошо можно это все показать.
Gravity Falls, this cartoon
Ну,
demonstrates that very well.
штука работает. Куда направлять?
Okay, I'm supposed to click that. Okay, here we go.
Весь мультфильм, я без спойлеров для тех, кто не смотрел,
Without spoilers,
некая такая
the whole cartoon
Твин
is
Пикс
a
и на секретные материалы.
parody of Twin Peaks
Мультики,
and
главных героев постоянно разворачиваются какие-то мистические.
Secret Files.
Они с этим пытаются что-то делать, разгадывать, но
Different things happen to the characters of this cartoon,
научились, что
some,
в дневниках, в книгах, в каких-то
and it turned out that
сценах, в сериале
in the diaries, in some scenes of the episodes, and there is some
взаимная игра,
ciphered
соответственно,
messages.
начали выпускать книги, в которых появлялись
And those who produced this series, there were new encryption
это на самом деле
secrets that they use in this series, and it's actually quite an interesting illustration of how we live. We kind of see some secrets, and some secrets exist in parallel, and they're very interesting, and they are created by people, and this is what cryptography is about.
мы поговорим.
Today, using as an example this cartoon, we'll be talking about very simple but very interesting encryptions that we saw in the history. Yes, great. Okay, here we go.
Фолс знает, что в конце
Those who've seen Gravity Falls,
каждой серии
that at the beginning of each
этот шепот нечитаемый, непонятно, что там говорит человек.
episode, there is some whispering, and you can't really identify what it is. But if you play it backwards, you can actually see some sense in it. And in the first few episodes, this cipher
Это намек на шифр.
is saying 3 letters back, and this is a hint
Это не только
to the Caesar
это еще и шифр.
cipher. It's a cipher
Три буквы.
Caesar. When you have a shift
На слайд.
of three letters. If you look at the slide,
видно, что есть
you'll see
то есть текст, который мы шифруем.
there is an open text that you actually ciphering, and the ciphered text.
Алфавит шифр
And it has its own
то есть
alphabet. And the ciphered alphabet is
буква B превращается
three letters shifted.
и так далее.
A
То есть происходит
is
две
D,
буквы.
B is E, so there is a shift to three letters, and that's the whole idea of the cipher. Caesar used all his life in Gal's War, and
Когда он воевал с Астериксом и Обеликсом,
when he was fighting Asterix and Obelix, this is what he used, and this cipher is still used. For example, in the last century, in 20th century,
где они
there was a story about a Sicilian mob, and through the local newspaper, they were
полиция очень долго не могла понять,
sending messages using this cipher,
ну,
telling each other where they
шифр разгадали и
leave
поймали.
drugs,
То есть шифр очень простой,
sell.
он ломается частоты.
the secret places. So the cipher is very easy to crack. We use the frequency analysis.
С которой она
In
языке. Например, ну,
for every letter in the alphabet, there is the frequency that you can see it
0,06.
in the letter. So for A, it's
Это Козябра в тексте
0.26%. So, and no matter what you replace it with, this letter will be in the text, and so 0.25%
ломаются и шифры.
frequency. So this is how you crack all other
Жук у Эдгара По. В общем, все в
ciphers
сторону смотрит. Но тем не менее шифр
from different books, like Conan Doyle's books and Edgar Poe books. So examples of this cipher in the gravity is here. This is the famous dwarf from the first episode. So some gibberish is written here, and then you see the gravity falls. This is what it is.
там про подростков, да,
This is from the book about
заведено. Ну и, собственно,
teens,
написано «Миссис Цезарь погиб».
about the puberty period.
В следующей серии вас встретит
So here is what's written. Mrs. Caesarian will leave you in this series. Mrs. Agbash. In the 7th episode, there is Agbash cipher, where they
первой буквы алфавита на последнюю,
change the first letter of the alphabet by the last one, and the second letter with the
который вы можете
next to the last one letter. This is the old cipher that you can see in the Old Testament.
когда они не могли некоторые вещи называть.
In the story of
Нельзя было
Jewish people, there was
писать про него гадости, потому
there
что
was a time when you can say Babylon and write something bad about Babylon. So that's why Babylon was
если посмотреть
changed for Sisach. So if you looked at
Башу как раз.
Hebrew alphabet, then you see that they switched the letters using Agbash cipher. So it's not really a cipher because there is no key. So even the Caesar cipher, there is a key that shifts for three letters, but in Agbash it's just
B меняет Y
the
и так далее.
it is just a pattern that they use.
Нарисована схема, как
Here,
от Баш, что вы можете...
You can see how Agbash works. So I actually explained it to you.
Да, это
So-
здесь в конце этой серии запечатлен автор.
At the end of this episode, this is the author of presentation that was very lazy to do anything. So it's here in this episode, Time Travelers, Agbash is Mr. Herbert Wells,
Ну и
does not approve.
то же самое.
Here's the same.
Следующий шифр
And then the next cipher,
начинается...
after this 13th episode,
Это
the 26 letters.
1Z26.
This is a reference to 126 letter. It's not a cipher, it's a code.
Назад, вот.
Okay, back.
В A1Z26 мы просто заменяем каждую букву алфавита.
We just substitute each letter in the alphabet with its number in the alphabet. So the text turns into a sequence of numbers. This is how they
Сейчас
cipher in
в Gravity Falls он есть.
that 121.
Разные тоже серии, не будем, наверное...
These are different episodes, so we're not going to talk about them in detail, but I just recommend that you watch it and try to decipher them. It's really great.
Автор
So another reference.
придумал...
The author of the cartoon, he came up with a boys group for his sister, and he introduced it in the series, and it says, "Happy now, Ariel." This is Hirsch's sister.
Очень много, на этом
There
останавливаем.
are lots of funny things, so
Продолжение следует, это 19-й.
no details to be continued. It's the 19th episode, so
В 20-й
one that
последней серии
one finishes with that, and in the 20th episode of the first season, you can see the mix of several
в котором написано...
ciphers that were before that, and it says search for the blind eye. So why do they say that?
Во втором сезоне.
The Society of Blind Eye, they showed in the second episode, they just show up.
На это тайное общество,
And if you look at the secret society, you can see how this I is crossed out. So this cross
используется какой-то масон.
gives us a hint that they use some Masonic cipher. And on the right side of this I wrote for you the Masonic ciphergram.
Внизу как буквы
This is how they cipher it. And I showed you how these letters will look in this cipher. These letters are graphically written like that, and
затираются, но те
so the letters are
превращаются в буквы.
erased, and those corners that stayed. So this is a substitution cipher, just the same as we had with the Caesar cipher. So it's a real Masonic cipher.
Сериалы Билл
So
Шифр.
Bill Schiffer, the main antagonist of the series, he tried to change the global order,
$1 американской купюры.
and it's copied from $1 bill,
Новый мировой
and it's called Nomus Sodus Quorum.
Если вам
So that's what's written on that bill. And so if you're interested in looking at some different secrets,
манускриптом войны
mysteries, there is a very manuscript of Voynich on internet. So every year they're trying to decipher it, and it turns out that everything is wrong. So you can try again. So you may try to do that. You can read about it. We can have just a whole presentation about it,
бывает.
and you can see how it can be.
С второго сезона авторы
With
выработали,
the second season, the authors,
появились ключи. То есть единственный
they
момент,
stepped up and they had real keys there, and there is a secret point in the cipher that they use. So
шифр всем известен.
the key is a secret, but they know the cipher. So and, the
По-разному говорят.
key is called Visioner.
Шифр Виженера — это,
The cipher of Visioner,
по сути,
this is the cipher that is used the same as Caesar cipher, but instead of the shift of 3, for each letter they use a new shift that we take from the number of the letter from the alphabet. For example, the first letter was B,
мы будем сдвигать
then
шифр
we'll
для первой
shift.
буквы ключа была B, значит, мы
The first letter of the key was B, then we shift
открытого текста
the
на
first letter of the open text
это вторая буква алфавита.
2 positions, because B is the second letter of the alphabet, and the ciphering goes like this. So we write open text letter by letter, and then after that we do the key
Текста шифруемого мы просто дописываем его столько раз, сколько
under it. So, and then we just add the key as many times as it's needed. So the first letter with the open text with the first letter of the key, so you
ключевую
find them in the column
букву из ключевой
and
последовательности в строке
in the line from the key,
текста и смотрим на их пересечение, что
and then where they cross, and you get the letter that you need. For example, if the open text you had M and the key you had G,
по этой таблице
so
получается S. Это
where they cross you get S. This is the cipher text.
встретить до сих пор, особенно во всех
Vision is cipher you can find in different contests and CTFs and many other things. So in order to find the keys,
в разные карты.
you need to watch the cartoon closely, and you can see the key there,
На пицце,
like on the wall of this prison cell, on the bones of the dinosaur, so you can always find the key.
собственно,
So you just need to look closely.
зашифрованные.
And here again, you can see all the ciphered messages so that we won't be able to
Вы хотите,
read them. So, and again, if you want to try yourself in the role of
которые там
these FBI guys who for 2 seasons are trying to
как бы вот
figure out what's going on unsuccessfully, then you can Google what Cicada 3301. I'm not going to tell you exactly, just Google it.
И, конечно же, есть масса CTF-ов, о которых мы говорили в самом начале. Вы можете зайти на CTF Time.org, посмотреть, потренироваться, поиграть удаленно. Вам даже из дома выходить не надо будет. Ну, а мы приглашаем вас на Волга CTF. Тут QR-код на наши контакты. Приезжайте в сентябре. Мы вас с радостью встретим в Самаре. Можете послушать интересные лекции, интересных спикеров и, может быть, поучаствовать в каких-то мастер-классах и практических занятиях. Всем спасибо!
Паша, спасибо тебе большое. У меня традиционный вопрос. А зачем нам, среднестатистическим жителям города Москвы, знания о шифрах?
Криптография сейчас вокруг нас. Понятие о доверии, понятие о паролях, понятие о сохранении данных, даже об архивировании. Все это завязано на криптографию. Ваши телефоны...
So all this cryptography, your telephones are identified in
Это все ваша жизнь, это все происходит вокруг вас.
In this tower cells, its own cryptography, you can always.
Интересно.
It's just very interesting. So thank you very much, Pavel.
Где ваши аплодисменты?
Okay, where is your applaud? So please,
Желание посетить Волгу CTF сама.
so come and visit CTF in Samara in September.
Успешность Павла
And of course,
сегодняшнего Киберслэма.
speaker of today's.
Спасибо.
Пока.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Я открою вам секрет. В кибербезопасности люди не только те, которые любят котиков, но и еще совершенно чудесные, замечательные люди, которые любят красивые туфли, красивые юбки и вообще девушки. Сейчас на сцену выйдет девушка, которая
Now on stage we'll have a woman
в безопасности
who
уже
is
10 лет.
for 10 years in the information
Познакомилась
technology, information security.
как принцесса.
And she was introduced to me as a princess of cybersecurity. And in fact, today she's working in the VK company and she's developing marketing area, information security. And she is
Помимо новых,
raising our awareness in this area. And besides things she does,
ну, в общем,
she loves
учится у нас Тома. Сейчас вы ее
this adrenaline
все поймете.
drive. And
Развлекается очень экстремально, прыгает с парашютом.
she jumps with a parachute and she does skydiving. So Tamara, please come to us.
Мне кажется, ты ходячая иллюстрация фразы «да прыг».
I think you actually demonstrate
Привет.
how the whole thing works and how. So please tell us
Безопасности вообще зачем?
how you came to cyber and we need all this. Cybersecurity. I came there when I was 18.
Так получилось случайно.
It just happened like that, and for 13 years and it's very interesting in geography and ciphers and stuff.
Между прочим, расскажет вам,
And Toma will tell you
которая касается
about very
And Toma
interesting
is
thing.
going to cover a very interesting topic which is very relevant for you and you and you and all of you.
потому что спорю на 100 500 миллионов у кого из вас
I
есть
bet
аккаунт во ВКонтакте. А если
each of you has
других
a VK account
частично
or in other networks, some of which are prohibited in the Russian Federation.
не попасться на удочку,
Tamara
которые являются
is going to share with you what should be done in order not to become victim
Скажу не только
of those fraudsters.
мы сегодня
Well, in fact, I am not only going to cover social media.
удочку мошенникам.
Well, I'll be talking about it in general, how not to become a victim of fraudsters.
Сервисом другой день
More generally,
площадки
if you are using
несколько
the Другое Дело service,
сканировать QR-код,
you can scan this QR code to get
реальные
a
скидки.
bonus which can be exchanged for
А теперь
points in Другое Дело service.
каждое утро мы
Now let's talk Turkey.
ищем в себе
Every morning we wake up
в школу, на работу,
and start looking for motivation to go to school or to the office.
как угодно их назовите. Они, ребята,
And
гораздо более мотивированные. Они
malefactors or fraudsters, whatever you call them, they're really motivated.
человеческие
They work throughout the day, they work at daytime and nighttime,
за новостной
and they're really savvy people. They know how to
Сегодня мы с вами
follow
поговорим
people,
о креативности.
and they're really creative.
И от
And we are going to discuss the creativity of the hackers and what they do to make our victims and what we should do in order to not to become their victims.
сегодня
The first part of my talk is kind of aerial.
мы ее
We have already discussed authentication here. I'll make the story short.
ценного есть.
Can you tell me what's the most valuable thing that you have on the network?
Я думаю, что кто-то
Well, unfortunately, I'll not be able to hear all of you. Some people may say that it's money.
данные, переписки,
Others refer to personal data,
но
correspondence,
информация, она лежит
pictures.
в ваших
Anyway,
аккаунтах. Поэтому
all this data
что самое
resides on your accounts.
это наш
I
аккаунт.
should say that the most valuable thing is our accounts. And those accounts are protected with passwords. And when you use a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 password, somewhere an information security guy is crying, and at least one hacker becomes really joyful. Let's get back to the passwords. I always use very long passwords. It's difficult to keep them all in mind. However, my accounts are never broken. Well, if you want to make the hacker's life hard, use long passwords. If you want to make it even harder, please employ two-factor authentication, which was touched upon before me. It's very easy to do. Even if your password is stolen by a hacker, I mean this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing, doesn't matter. It's really easy for them to find your password. They will not be able to crack your account because the second factor is necessary. Well, there are two factors. One is the factor of knowledge, and the other one is the factor of possession. And without this factor of possession, the hacker will not be able to get access to your account, and he will be upset, or she. When they are unable to get upset, they start employing emotions. So I would like to discuss the psychological attack vectors. In fact, there are 6 of them. Basically, today I'll be discussing 3. Fear and curiosity, desire to help, and greediness. There are other things as well, such as a lack of attention, urgency, and importance. So, all the stories that I'm going to tell you today can happen in any communication channel, whether it is email, social media, messengers, texts, telephone calls, and so forth. Coincidences are not accidental. That's life. Let's assume you receive a message saying, you got a new fine, and you're surprised. Oops. I'm a law-abiding individual. What kind of fine are you talking about? You become curious, and you urgency of clicking on the link to find out what kind of fine is it. And you rush because you don't want to be penalized, you don't want to pay interest on your fine, and you click on it and yield your personal data, your credentials for Gosuslugi, public services website, for example. If you are not attentive enough, you may not even suspect that you are being addressed by a fraudster. However, if you look at the sender's details, you will immediately understand that it has nothing to do, Gosuslugi have nothing to do with the sender. When you see that you're asked to use a link and there is an error in the name of the sender, it means that when you're told that something should be done immediately. Pay attention to this. For instance, you can get a message saying that some loan was applied for in your name, or that you have been indicted. Next. Desire to help. We live in a very good, very kind, very happy world. And according to the stats, there are very many good people, kind people, and fraudsters exploit this fact. You can get a message asking you to lend 5,000 rubles or to help. Why? Because my brother was put in jail, or my mother got sick, or please invite my kid to take part
Вас просят сделать
in the Raters contest. In this case, you're always asked to help do something, and for this you need to click on a link.
например, чтобы
And once this is done, you're usually asked to enter your credentials, your personal data. So be very attentive, be very careful.
мы все
My third story, greediness.
конкурсы, лотереи.
We all love discounts, we all love trivia,
Все.
contests,
Остановитесь.
easy money.
Если вы получаете
Stop.
очень
Wait.
выгодное предложение, всегда стоит задуматься. А с чего
Every time you get
мне
a great proposal, always think,
предложить что-то
why?
бесплатно? Действительно ли это
Why are they offering something to me free of charge?
очень активно?
It's too good to be true.
Особенно связанную с
The
лотереями,
hackers
конкурсами.
love exploiting the story, especially all those things relating to trivia, to contests.
Было очень
When major brands started leaving Russia,
последних
we witnessed
и самых
tons of phishing attempts
от какой-нибудь.
based on proposals like "Take your last chance."
Нужно понять, что бесплатные деньги
This campaign is finishing tomorrow.
в мышеловке звучит.
Remember,
Я, пожалуй.
nothing is free.
Итак, мы с вами поговорили только про 3 вектора. Есть еще
We only discussed 3 vectors.
раздражение,
There are
например,
others as well, such as being irritated, annoyed.
что-то еще я забыла, извините.
Well, there are others that
Мы все здесь
I can't
потому что
recall right now.
нам делать, как нам вообще вести себя.
We're all pretty anxious.
Просто. Вам
We all want to know what should be done
что мошенники
while we are in the network,
пытаются сказать,
what our behavior should look like.
точно, когда вас критическое
fraudsters
мышление. Поэтому
always try to make you rush,
чувствовали, что
saying that this is
у
urgent.
вас какую-то сильную эмоцию. Вдохните и
When you feel excited,
информацию. Не ленитесь.
emotionally charged, don't rush.
Организации проверить, есть ли такая
First of all, go to the official website to check
поддержку,
if there is such a campaign underway.
поменять какие-то вот авторизационные
Ask for support.
что-то такое. Я думаю,
Think, do you really need to change your credentials?
что нужно
When you're called by security service of the bank, always remember that you are not expected to answer any questions. You should call back
ссылку
to make sure that you are calling the bank
критично
and ask them. Always be very attentive when dealing with incoming information. These are simple rules, but they will help you to protect yourself in the network. And don't forget that bad guys only look like bad guys in the movies.
Они будут прятаться за
In real life,
аватарками, они
they'll be disguising themselves with beautiful avatars,
официальных
big
организаций.
brands, logos of official organizations.
Будьте в безопасности,
So please
подписывайтесь на наши каналы.
stay safe,
Вам им
subscribe to our channels,
всего доброго. Спасибо за внимание.
and all the best to you. Thank you for your attention.
С вами была Тамара Та-та-та-та-та-та-та-та.
It was Tatan Tamara,
Была Тамара Чечеткина, компания.
Tamara Chichatkina from VK.
Забудем о том, что
Tama,
ты сейчас
let's forget
там, где работаешь.
about the fact that you are working where you're working.
Один совет.
Let's only talk information security. Just one piece of advice, not related to
Это
social media.
прежним всегда критически
Well,
относиться к
It's always the same.
которые есть в интернете. Там
Be choosy when dealing with information, incoming information.
поэтому просто нужно
There are fraudsters,
полезное.
there are intruders out there. Learn how to distinguish between useful things
Тамаре.
and dangerous things.
Громче,
Well, let's get our hands together to give a round of applause to Tamara.
которые вы издаете. Закончили аплодировать. Мы все
Well,
померили.
we are done. We have measured
Надеюсь, что... Ну, я как
the noise that you just produced.
надеюсь, что победителем будешь ты.
Tamara, hopefully you'll be the winner.
Спасибо большое.
Our applauses are getting higher and higher.
Человек, который
And now we are going to come on this stage
мужчина,
someone who is not Tamar,
всё как
who doesn't wear skirts,
он
who is not blonde.
в
It's a man.
информационной безопасности уже лет 20, то есть такой
He's been working in the information security domain for about 20 years.
защиты масштаба
He's adult. He used to create
мне кажется,
large-scale
клевое
protection systems for the constituent entities of the Russian Federation. Most importantly, he chased penguins
пингвины, львы, это
in
такие
the North Pole,
хакеры. Короче, он
lions
приобретал между
in the savannah
сейчас мечтает добраться до
in order to acquire international experience.
в Арктике.
And his dream now is to meet
Шапира,
the polar bear in the Arctic.
компания.
Let's welcome Roman Shapiro, representing a company that we all well know. Hi, Roman.
Все-таки сочинила историю,
Please tell me,
что твое увлечение, это вот ты на охоту?
am I right in saying that
Охоту.
when going to safari, do you kill animals or do you only take pictures? I take pictures.
Отдых специфический
Am I right in saying that
твоей работы
the way you entertain yourself on vacation is a result of your hard work? We all need to have some rest. We're all human. Okay, what are you going to cover? Why are there myths and legends about
до сих пор были а сейчас
information security? Before we heard some advice. Now we are going to familiarize ourselves with some legends and myths. Good morning once more, dear colleagues and guests. I'm really glad to see all of you here. This crowd is becoming bigger and bigger, and today we are going to discuss those legends and myths about information security. The previous speakers discussed what your network behavior should look like. That you should never forget that there are bad guys out there who want to make you victims. Let's proceed from a simple fact. Quite often, it's a very right thing to look at yourselves with the eyes of your children. Some time ago, my 14-year-old daughter approached me and said, look, today we're asked what your parents are. And I said that my father goes to an office, and my mother is deputy general director. And I was so proud of my daughter. She never discloses any secrets to the strangers. I went to my wife and told her, look, great, good girl, you taught our daughter how to be safe. And she looked at me, she was really surprised. Well, it's really important to understand what people think about information security. We conducted a survey. We asked questions to a large number of people, asked them questions about information security, and got the following set of myths. The most important one, this does not apply to me. Information security is not for me, it's something really difficult, very complex. Well, I studied it when in grade 10, and I don't understand why. That's wrong, colleagues. Every single speaker before me told you that you are surrounded by the factors of information security. You have telephones, you have computers, tablets. It means that you need information security. The second myth, well, Tamar mentioned hackers who are usually taken for bad guys wearing those hoods and so forth. In fact, they are not this way. When you see some advertisements saying we can help you to crack your friend's account, be sure you have already been victimized, and pretty soon you will swallow the bait.
Вторая мысль, которая зачастую почему-то бывает у простых обывателей и
Another thought
организаций,
that usually crosses the mind of laymen
что вот они
is that
непонятно
hackers
большие
are
enterprises, что они взламывают.
usually hunting big companies such as government agencies
Вы выступаете,
or private enterprises,
вы выступаете как статисты. Зачастую
but you are just a crowd here.
фишинговых
Quite often, the intention of the hacker is to launch
ваши аккаунты, как говорил Тамара Михайловна,
a large number of
сильно влияет на результат.
phishing messages
Вы
for you to propagate them.
статистическая выборка, которую
You only become
никто вас специально
one in the sampling.
взламывать не
One,
Но
nobody is going to crack your account intentionally. You're just one of many.
родом из
But this does not mean that you will never become a victim.
Но оказывается, это все еще очень распространенный миф.
Well, another very important
Пишут вирусы для того, чтобы
thing is that developers of software write viruses themselves to make sure that their antivirus products are bought. This is not true. Every single day, thousands of new viruses
производителям
get to the network,
приходится еще и что-то.
saying that,
Но, к сожалению,
well, and thinking that developers of antivirus products have time to write viruses as well. Well, it's wrong.
своих продуктов, но за них это делают
Of course,
и ребята, которые охотятся.
everyone who sells something needs something to help
Следующий такой же
their sales, but in this case, there are other people who help them.
устройство,
Another myth,
он тоже был родом
which is very popular among individual
взломает.
holders of handheld devices, is like this. Look, I'm using a Linux device. I will never be cracked.
Это совершенно не
Even if you are an iPhone user or Android device user or Linux user,
того. Если вы найдете
it's not a guarantee that you will never ever be cracked.
гарантирует вам бесперебойную работу ваших устройств,
Even if you install some antivirus product,
спикеры до меня, вам
even in this case, you can be sure that you're 100% protected.
обязательно подбирать пароль
The speakers before me already mentioned that it's not a must to
на то, чтобы
find your credentials.
чтобы рассказать хакерам,
Quite often, users
бери мои пароли,
do what the hackers need themselves by yielding their credentials to hackers.
бабушкам, дедушкам, родственникам о том, что не надо называть.
Thousands of times that we reminded our grandparents
Там же
that they shouldn't
никому не называть.
answer questions
Каждый раз мы
related to their passwords and usernames.
не скажу. Коллеги,
But every time they say, look,
на компьютер
how can't I not answer a question when I'm asked?
право отключать голову. Всегда мыслите критично.
Never ever
Поддержу Тамару Михайловну,
switch your mind off.
замечательного спикера, который говорил,
Always think twice.
это ваше лучшее орудие.
Your head is your best weapon.
Сейчас у нас очень интересная эпоха, когда у нас ушли многие стриминговые сервисы, а то
Your
как
brain.
у нас ушли многие
Well,
компании. И
Today, when many streaming services and companies, major brands,
лицензионная программная
left us,
из рубрики
we are recalling good old days,
свои шлюпки. И опять
and many old pirates
здесь
once more
должное себе.
made it to high seas.
Бесплатный сыр.
And in this situation, you should remind yourself that
Вы вдруг чувствуете,
it's only in a mousetrap that you can find free cheese.
что-то получаете даром, значит, а предметом торговли
If something is offered to you free of charge, it means that
устройств.
it's you
Если кто-то скачал с торрента антивирус, и у него
that's on stake.
никогда не было вирусов, это значит не то, что у него нету вирусов, а то, что
If someone is telling you
показывать.
is telling you that they
Удалять информацию, выводить непристойные картинки вам
never more contract viruses having downloaded some torrent,
с вашего
it means that
вводиться какие-то
there is just no need for that. They are just not shown any viruses anymore.
для того, чтобы они...
Unwillingly, you provide hackers with tools that may be necessary for them to expand their attacks to bigger organizations, to other people, other potential victims. And here we're approaching the most important myth.
Действительно, в каждой смс-ке с каждым кодом написано «не передавай код никому», и мы каждый
Trust what is written.
который его кому-то таки рассказываем.
We always remind you, never share your passwords, your usernames.
Что написано, но и то...
Be attentive.
Помните, все...
Pay attention not only to what is written, but also to how it's written.
которые они используют, всегда шпионы
We all remember those movies and books about spies.
Positive Hack Days, мероприятие, на котором мы находимся,
They always
и там написано не хаках,
get caught
ровно то же самое.
based on minor things.
Идти на сайт Одноклассников,
It's very tiny things that reveal them.
на сайт,
You can get access to your website.
как-то мы
You can get a message or a link which will lead you to a page that will look like your bank's website or some other website that you use quite often. But something will be wrong there. Maybe letters will go in a wrong order. There may be some other error or mistake on the page. Always pay attention to this.
куда вы перешли. Особенно
Always look at where you were allowed to,
какого-то источника,
especially
лотереи,
if the link has come from an unknown source,
уважаемого
offering you some draw from Sberbank, say, or from other well-known organization. This piece of information is for our young users. Many people think that to become a hacker, it's necessary to spend much time on learning. However, quite often, to crack something,
хотя бы мануалами.
one should be attentive, and that's it.
Хакерского искусства. Это
If you want to see
изучать
the white side of the hacker's art, it means that you yourself may want to become a professional in this domain.
на самом деле пользователи, на самом деле обычные люди. Можете спросить, зачем нам
You as users are ordinary people. You may ask me, why do we need information security? I can tell you, as an individual responsible for information security in my company, truly believe that it's you, ordinary people, are exactly the element of protection that will help us to prevent many serious threats. If you receive a phishing message, report it to those people who know what to do next. Make your brain work. Call security professionals, and this will protect you. That's it. To conclude, I'd like to say don't forget about it. And wash your hands before going to table to eat. Thank you very much for your presentation. Just one question. Have you ever been a victim of hackers?
не уводили аккаунты в соцсетях.
Since my money has never been stolen from my bank accounts, probably not. Have you ever been close to believing those messages? Possibly. It's professional.
Вещи, и для того, чтобы дожить до возраста и оставаться еще в профессии информационной безопасности, всегда приходилось включать
to reach this age and remain professional information security. I've always had to wrap my head around things and use my brain prior to doing something.
With plans
станциями,
ships, electricity,
вот
power plants, hydro stations.
нашего будущего.
This is the area of interest of our next speaker.
Спросите меня,
And this is what he's going to tell us about. And you might ask me, why do we need all these
ответ на этот
electricity plants?
еще один ответ, в смысле еще один вопрос. Он будет с нами
Then another question comes. He will talk about
безопасность. Человек, который
an efficient personal security.
сложный,
The person who is used to protecting big companies will tell us
более защищен.
how to be more
Я думаю,
protected
что аналогия между
personally.
этими компаниями будет.
And I think the analogy between the big companies will be, of course, with us here. And we have Alexei Gurevich
Леша,
from Sibintech company.
Всем привет.
как ты догадался от прям
Hello, everyone.
до личности докатиться?
So how did you get from industrial sector to personal security? Well, by protecting
Задачки каждый день.
my personal data and dealing with this, helping our companies more protected.
Более даже сложная,
As a rule,
она
even the most complex attack,
на личные данные пользователя.
it is directed to each user, to user accounts. So, and if we properly protect our accounts, our data at home, in public places, we will increase the degree of our security in something we do in industrial companies. And for us, for the security people, it's going to be much easier.
Хочет как можно.
So now you'll listen to the presentation who wants to work as last as possible, Alexei Gurevich.
Друзья, привет.
Hello, everyone.
Продолжим наш.
It's a great day.
Я вам расскажу про эффективную защиту.
I will tell you about efficient protection of your personal space. People spoke about
Я расскажу
passwords, social media.
это дело и
I will speak about all this, and
помнили и использовали повседневно.
I'll do my best so that you remember what I say and you could use it in your everyday life.
На самом деле я
We'll start with a simple story. It happened quite a while ago,
решил вам ее просто сказать.
and I actually remember it and decided to tell you this story. And one of
Американских журналистов решил понять,
American journalists decided to figure out what's happening with Internet of Things and what happens with smart devices when they get access to Internet. So
виртуальный сервер. И это
he made this virtual server,
в пространстве
and he placed the server in the public place on the Internet.
пользователя.
And thus he made the server available for any user, any hacker,
Естественно, к этому
and let them try whatever they want to do with it.
через
And access to this intellectual device was through login and password. And his idea was that 2-3 days will pass and nothing will happen to this device.
разместив его,
And by placing it there, he was kind of calm, and he was just kind of watching what's happening, and he was standing by. And
первая попытка под
40 minutes, and there was a first attempt to find, to hack the passwords. And then 1 hour later, it was hacked by hackers.
это такая большая
They
сеть, в которой
hooked it to the botnet network, and hundreds of thousands of devices are in that network. And these devices are used in this network in order to
ненужный там пустой трафик в сторону
channel empty traffic to public resources of companies
в интернете, соцсети, неважно.
that are accessible on the internet. And these perpetrators, they use it to
Каким образом
fail the network.
неважно, технологические, личные попадают.
And this is how these devices
Сегодня
are used by hackers.
дальше вам про наше личное пространство, про
I will tell you about our personal space, about personal devices. Let's take a smartphone or a mobile phone that we all use. It's one of those smart devices of Internet of Things. You have access to many resources, banking, social media,
И мы
email,
используем
whatever.
много инструментов для
And we use many tools to hook up to Internet.
поможет.
So
Финтиков,
will help us.
неважно, инструментов, скажем так, которые будут позволять
There's a number of tools that help us to increase our security, our personal data, and our personal devices. For example,
есть устройство. Если хакер получает доступ к этому устройству,
you
например,
have a device, and if a hacker gets access to your computer,
туда сразу же какой-нибудь вирус-шифровальщик, то есть
and immediately a virus, a ciphering virus, gets in it, encryption virus, it's going to
хакеры
encrypt the device,
на устройство
and then hackers
любого там человека или компании табличку «Отдай денег». Что делает человек? Платит деньги.
install a ransomware,
Таким образом хакер получает
asking for money.
и
And
Но не факт, что на самом деле
Thus, hacker gets both money and data.
не факт. Поэтому
But when you pay the money, it's not that you're going to get your data back or your device will be unblocked. So
телефоны, которые я вам сейчас показал,
such devices as
у каждого из вас
smartphones,
нужно ставить
to be fully protected, you need to install an antivirus.
на нем
And besides antivirus,
антивирусные базы. Это очень важно.
you need to make sure that all antivirus databases are installed on it, on your device.
В устройстве антивирус все хорошо.
See, we can get there.
Была большая сегодня.
So there was a long talk about passwords.
Скажу, что смотрите, не используйте
In addition to that, I'll say don't use simple passwords because there are special dictionaries that hackers use,
и достаточно быстро получают доступ.
and quite quickly they can figure out access to devices and accounts in social media. Here's one of the examples. This is how you can do. You take a phrase they can easily remember.
Добавляете пару символов,
My mother washed the window.
ставить, либо
You add a couple of symbols, so you can add
такую фразу гораздо проще запомнить, нежели
hyphens or numbers, and you can use this
клиент банки
to access your accounts, banking systems, and all that. So
для того, чтобы получить ваши
if you do that,
личные данные, доступ.
it will be very easy for hackers to get access to your data and to your social media if you use the same password for different sources. If you have many accounts and many client banks, so use different passwords and not to remember all of them, you can use a specialized
Вы туда просто
software. Keep your passwords in the software. You keep them in the safe,
не храните в голове, но при этом
and you don't have to keep them in your head, but you have access to this safe.
можете хранить его на мобильном телефоне.
You can keep it on your mobile phone, and you can get your passwords for different devices you have, social media, client banks, and so on. Then,
Профили соцсетей. Вы, когда
your profiles in social media.
в первую очередь, естественно, настраиваете свою
When you get on your social media,
карточку, но
you set up your account,
также ваши друзья
and you have your profile. But it's not only you who sees it.
наблюдают,
Your family can see it, your friends can see it, and of course, all other people can see
взять ваш
your profile. They can get access to your social network. They can get your email, your
поэтому обязательно
phone number, and
специальности соцсети
maliciously use it.
к своей соцсети оставляйте только
So, but close access to social
и
media.
периодически
Keep access only for your friends and family. And
периодически
in the setup,
добавляет какие-то новые профили,
check it.
настройки в свои
Because developers oftentimes add
клиентские
more
доступы
privacy options.
меняться. Поэтому периодически
Things might change there.
проверяйте, что
From time to time, check
если поменялось,
what your provider, what the developers changed, and
дальше история связана
see what you can do with your setup.
с сетью, да, в большом смысле слова.
Social media.
Выходите из дома, ваше личное устройство подключено к
Talking about it globally.
и роутер, к
Your
которому оно подключено,
mobile phone is hooked to Wi-Fi network, and a router that you have has a password. So you set up this password and use. But when you go
в устройстве все
on the street, and if in your device Wi-Fi is still on, so your
пытается к ним подключиться.
device is still looking for Wi-Fi networks and trying to hook up to them. So thus you give access to perpetrators to your device. So first what you do, you turn off your Wi-Fi when you go out.
Не знаю, клиент банком тому же самому
If you need to hook up to a client bank
использовать VPN,
and pay something, so use VPN, I recommend it. So VPN will help you
доступ обеспечить
to close access
данных и
and to
трафик.
ensure confidentiality of the data that you
Подключаясь к сайтам,
send.
обращайте внимание
to the
на
bank.
официальность этих сайтов. Обязательно каждый сейчас
Look at the confidentiality of the website, and
поэтому
all websites are supposed to have this policy on their website, so please read it
напротив того, что вам не
and never
используйте только
tick the boxes that you're not interested in.
для вас. И если вы не собираетесь
Use only the things that you're interested in, and if you're not going to
с политикой конфиденциальности,
transfer anything through this website, don't agree with anything.
что еще про сеть? Каждый
Another thing about network.
ресурсов сети
Each website
в соответствии с нашим законодательством
from the internet, according to the law, Russian law, they're supposed to
осторожно, внимание,
place information that says attention that the website uses cookies,
файл.
which means
Хранятся ваша сессия,
on the website there are files that keep your session, your logins, passwords, information where you go to, what pages you go to, what data you key in this. So all this is kept in this temporary file.
cookie файл.
And you don't need to agree with the cookie files and not give the access
Идет ваше
to the information that goes during your session. So this will increase your
хакера
protection
к утечке.
and decrease hackers' ability to get access to your data.
Ну и вот еще один вариант напоследок, это опять-таки мы
And another thing,
много где в интернете серфим, подключаемся к
we
магазину,
surf
покупаем
the web,
телевизоры.
we buy TV sets, we
Вам
buy
рекомендация
groceries and
чистый
whatnot.
ящик,
So use one
переписываться с вашими
email,
друзьями, с родственниками, может быть,
the email that you use for your friends,
где будет
family, maybe your
переписка с вашими известными вам контактами.
just
Нужно куда-то
the contacts you need. But if you need to
не знаю,
send
регистрировать
data
в школу какую-то или там
to somewhere, to register your child in the school, or to go
ящик,
to some training,
вы будете
so
регистрировать
you can use such a garbage box, such a garbage email that you will use only for this, and you keep it there.
там будет минимум,
So, and you don't lose anything if you lose this
заведете новый.
email. So,
Все
if you lose it, you lose it.
это все
You'll
поможет нам
set up a new one.
собственную эффективность.
So everything I told you will increase the efficiency of working with the internet.
Хакеры, несмотря на
And here's another scare.
пытаемся защитить наши данные,
Despite the fact that we're trying to protect our data, hackers,
начинают
they can get access to your data
и могут
from your phone, from anything else, and they can use it to
ипотеки на кого-либо другого или, в принципе, записи
transfer your mortgage to someone else, for example, or to
могут
screw your
вытащить данные.
account in госуслуги, in these public services that you get in, so they can get a loan for you. And
В целом, я думаю, для вас будет некий такой
but if you
знать, что
apply everything I told you about, use everything I told you about, then
чувствую совершенно защищенными, спокойными.
it's going to be very hard for you, and you'll be fully protected, and you can easily be on the surf on the internet.
Таком вот
Thank you.
вывешиваю
When we have such conferences, and when I put on the slide my contacts with the phone and the email, so I show you the slide with just the words "thank you" with no my personal information. Thank you very much for listening.
С вами был Алексей Гуревич, очень хитрый человек, наверное,
Thank you, Alexei.
хитрый из
No, he's a wily man.
выступающих.
He's probably the wiliest from the country, from the company, and so none of our previous speakers hid their contacts, and they allowed you to get them here on the venue and in the and on the internet. So, Alexei, why are you doing this? So I knew where I'm going, and I just had to get ready. So, with a personal example,
Самый
all
важный
the advice that you gave here.
сейчас и чувствует себя защищенным процентов.
So what would you give them, like the final one, the best one? I would agree with Dennis, who was talking about passwords, and I think it's very important. So check your passwords.
и
Don't use simple ones,
обязательно меняйте полгода, но год.
and change them
Ваша защита.
at least once a year. It will increase your protection,
полгода.
your security. So have a long one and change it
Всем
once a year. And I think it'll help us with Alzheimer
Друзья мои,
disease, I think.
мы оцениваем выступления наших спикеров громогласными аплодисментами.
So, as I said, so we
Мы замеряем,
assess
замеряем,
presentation of our speakers by
или замерять. Леш, спасибо.
Спасибо.
our applause and how loud it is. Thank you very much.
Есть люди, которые умеют разговаривать почти обо всем. И
There are people who can talk about anything and
разговаривать
about the most difficult
внезапно понимаешь,
subjects,
что ты все понял. Лет 15
and they speak about them
на одном
so that when you listen to them, you think you get it too.
сидела
In one of the conferences that was long ago, and I was in the first row like a good student, and I was listening to a person who was talking
я понимала,
something
говорит
about
блоги. Короче, я
network, and I couldn't quite get, so it was IT, information information security. It was my first immersion in this.
Нет, меньше, минут 10 или 15. Я расстраивалась.
10-15 minutes into this presentation, and I couldn't quite get what I was listening to, and I thought that I'm dumb and I can't get a thing. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I had this epiphany, and all of a sudden I got the whole thing.
Сейчас появится на
And this is the man who is coming to our stage.
большим статусом
This is a
кадровых
ski master,
мне сюда.
Mikhail Kadar, with great experience in skiing.
Ассоциации,
He is a member of Mountain Skiing Association,
прочим,
and by the way, he's a winner of some awards in the sports.
С лыжами, с ботинками, но подумал, что все-таки
I was thinking about coming here with skis and with the boots, but I thought, no, probably it's place.
его называется
And-
катание на горных лыжах.
His presentation is called a little bit about
Кибербезопасность.
mountain skiing. I don't know what mountain skiing has to do with
какие-нибудь другие методы. А дальше
cybersecurity,
получится, коллеги.
so we'll see. And we'll see what our audience will tell us.
Летом
So prepare your skis in the summer, in spring,
сегодня вместе
at positive hack days, together with Misha Kadar.
Здравствуйте, коллеги. Как вот уже
Hello, colleagues. As Yulia said,
вступление, немножечко о горных лыжах. Это на самом деле я решил,
my presentation is a little bit about
что тут происходит.
skiing, mountain skiing.
Начать немножко с другого и рассказать вам о том, что вчера я обманул
I
примерно
would like to tell you about how I
в общем-то, со сцены. Да, вот
cheated
коллеги оценили. Как это произошло?
60 people, and also from stage. How I did that? I told them that I deal with information security. I told them that I'm doing it for 25 years, and they said, Mikhail, you lie, you're doing it longer. Yes,
Как вы видите, горными лыжами я
I've been doing it longer, but as you can see, so I've been skiing even longer, 45 years.
говорить, собственно, именно об
And that's why I decided to talk about skiing today. And first thing I would like to talk about, first of all, is goal setting. This is very important in any business you do. And in skiing, it's very important too. It can be very different.
например, хочет
It's very important though.
лыжи дома, они прекрасно
For
выглядят.
example, you can buy beautiful skis and keep them at home. Somebody wants
До кафешки,
to buy skis and
с друзьями,
maybe to ski to a cafeteria and to drink Glintwine.
целину.
But some people want to do something else or to be very successful in
Мы имеем дело
amateur
со второй
competition.
категорией людей.
If we're dealing with the second category of people,
Правильно подойти к этому процессу. В общем-то, я об этом вам и хотел
then we
рассказать.
can look at the process properly. The first thing that we need to think about it,
С вами боимся. У меня есть
what are we afraid of?
лично моя шутка, может, кривая немножко,
I have my own joke. It may be a bit crooked, but it sounds like this.
ногу, то меня
If I break my leg,
страховки. А если я сломаю себе голову,
They will-
меня уволят за профнепригодность. То есть это
my insurance will cover it. But if I break my head, so they will fire me for being professionally incompetent.
боимся.
So what are we afraid of?
Который имеет
The
смысл
next
задумываться.
thing that we need to think about,
Так, сейчас этот наш
okay,
красный кликер. Да, это что же у нас есть вот для этого самого катания на горных лыжах?
what do we have for skiing?
Моих друзей какие-нибудь
Maybe some of you, like my friends, you have some great skis
скамейку. И, может быть,
that you can use to build a bench.
высыпался последний поролон. А может быть, у нас просто
And maybe
нет.
you
И в этом случае нам, конечно, надо понимать,
have nothing.
вот под наши
And in this case,
я упоминал, чтобы нам, собственно,
you need to understand what the goal you set for yourself and what you'd like to buy
купить, а взять в аренду.
to ski, or maybe rent something.
Уместно подумать, кто и что нам посоветует. Сейчас, конечно, модно
And
смотреть
in this case,
на YouTube, но
it would be proper to think about what people will advise you. You can look at YouTube videos, but you probably can't get information there, and because some of the things they say, it's nonsense, and maybe you need to go to a consultant.
и он позволит
You tell them about your mountain skiing dream, and they'll help you
лыжный инвентарь.
to find the
Важная вещь.
ski gear that you need.
Очень прошу обратить
And this is very important thing that I would like you to pay attention to.
инвентаря.
This is a proper setup of your skiing gear.
Каждый год очень
Every year,
ребята
this
прекрасно
is what we see.
горные лыжи под
You have your gear intact
на этот склон выпал свежий
for
снег.
the hill that you go, for the mountain you go to,
Работали человек слабо
fresh snow there, so
и регулярно. Поэтому
the person who went there, so the boots were wrong, so the person falls,
ожидал
and
проверять его перед каждым выходом на склон.
things are gone.
На это
So
надо
every time,
обращать внимание.
So you need to know what mountain you go to. This is very important. And the next thing is goal setting. You have good gear, but it would be great if you learn how to use this gear. And then again, there is a question of regular training and a regular
Хотя бы в начале в лабораторных условиях. Ну что такое лабораторные условия?
upgrading your skills. First, kind of in the lab conditions. Do you ski somewhere in the Moscow region? You know, some people raise their hands. So this is a lab. This is lab conditions where you can train. And we need to train ourselves there. But when finally we learn some skills,
Не забывать.
we shouldn't forget.
Так, сейчас опять у меня...
Okay.
Не забывать, собственно, после этого выйти непосредственно на сам склон и проверить...
Don't forget to go to the mountain and actually test your skills. Can you actually ski? For example, to go to Krasnaya Polyana, a mountain resort, and to do it there, and to see how
этому как-то достаточно хорошо и эффективно подумать
well you can do it.
Дальнейшие пути развития
And then
нашей горнолыжной техники.
you can see where you can go further
Итак,
with your skills and your gear.
что может быть
So the further development,
в рамках этого дальнейшего развития?
what it can be.
Пример мы окончательно
For example,
фрирайд. Как я уже говорил, мы хотим участвовать
you want to free ride,
в соревнованиях.
or you want to be in some amateur competitions. Some of my friends who ski very well,
Там в ски-тур.
from time to time they go to some ski tours.
Постоянного процесса
But in any case, it requires
своих навыков.
a continuous process of
Опять же, часто наблюдаем,
upgrading your skills.
как будто не тренировались, либо в прошлом году.
At the beginning of the season, we can see people who never train themselves and would try something. So this development should be a non-op development.
Говоря о
So that's why
лыжах, мы можем выделить несколько
when we're talking about mountain skiing, two things:
адекватный подинструмент,
goal setting, proper gear,
и обязательно
proper training,
проверка, подкачка своих
and proper upgrading
И вот
your skills.
завершая свое выступление,
And
тут еще
finishing my presentation,
заодно, что
I also recall
и в одной из своих прошлых жизней я еще
this. Besides
и
mountain skiing, I also did autosport.
разложен по
And this also can be used as an example
какая клевая штука.
of how from
Хотел бы ее
what to what we move. For example, oh, such a great car, I would like to drive it, and then you learn how to drive it.
презентацию.
And summing up,
О том, я надеюсь, у вас была возможность посмотреть на слайды, что на самом
I
деле
hope you saw my slides. In fact, what I was talking about, I told you
тот
a
процесс
story about
пронизывает всю
proper cybersecurity, efficient cybersecurity. This is the process that goes
выстроить по этим
through our life, and you can build this process based on these principles: proper goal setting,
нашего целеполагания,
proper development to realize our goals,
уточнение этого самого
and then
Коллеги, большое
reinforcing
спасибо за ваше внимание.
our goal settings. Thank you very much.
Миша, спасибо тебе большое. Мы
Thank you,
все усвоили,
Misha.
что кататься на лыжах это
Now we know
заниматься информационной
that
безопасностью.
skiing is just the same
Что такое
as doing information security.
и каким-то коньком
And now we're thinking about what snowboard is and
в
skates.
следующем году. Друзья,
So, but we'll talk about it next year. So please give a hand to Mikhail,
насколько
because we need to learn how good he was. So please be loud. So why so lazy?
Нет? Не умеете свистеть?
Can you whistle?
Я, кажется, что-то слышала. Миша, спасибо.
I think I heard something. Thank you, Mikhail.
Дальше на
So
сцену
we go on.
последний участник сегодняшнего нашего...
Our last speaker
Как сказал Михаил,
of this session, as Mikhail said,
я придумывала, что же такого
when I was
сказать.
coming up what to say about this person,
А
I
сегодня
couldn't come up with anything.
в гримерке он
But today, when I was sitting in the dressing room, he told me his own story. He told me the story about how once he came to a different event,
для юного слушателя.
and that
И, в общем,
event was for a younger audience. And this is what he said, that organizers,
хотели
just like me,
представить,
wanted to introduce him, but they couldn't.
о нем
They couldn't find anything about him on the internet.
Нет, это
The person who sort of doesn't exist.
образ
But actually, this is
безопасности. Соцсетей нет, телефон,
kind of average statistical
черт его
infosecurity specialist. You can find their email, contact numbers, and all that. And you can meet them only in two places, either at their workplace
некоторых
or
университетах, где они преподают. Вот наш
in the universities where they teach. So our next speaker teaches
если кто-то
in NIRA.
видите своего
If some of you
преподавателя,
study in NIRA, so you will see your favorite teacher, whose name is Andrei Pugachev,
Positive Technologies есть.
and he works in positive technologies. So there is a place where we can find you.
Мы можем тебя найти еще и в парке Горького.
We can also find you in the Gorky Park.
Расскажет доклад с
Andrei
философским названием «Жизнь
will
идет».
speak about this philosophical matter. Life is going and nothing is changing.
Всем добрый день, меня зовут Андрей Пугачев.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrei Pugachev. Some of you know my patronymic too.
Радостно подготовил несколько
So when they asked me to do a presentation, I had a few presentations, and then looking at what the previous speakers were going to talk about, so I thought that it would be too superfluous if I say the same thing. So I decided to
разговаривали раньше.
I have Sigismund on my t-shirt that they spoke about before.
Взрослое поколение,
When we were young,
мой руки перед едой, не
our
хватай
parents would tell us, wash your hands,
дорогу в положенном месте. И
don't hold the open wire.
о том, как жить в этом мире, нам рассказывали взрослые. Но
Adults were telling us how to live in this world.
и, скажем так, внезапно
But our youth
стали понимать, как жить безопасно в этом мире, потому что взрослые сами были не готовы.
passed very quickly, and we didn't know, and we weren't ready for it.
Ничего
So,
по факту не изменилось. И
so
вот все, что
nothing actually changed.
рассказывали
So, and everything they told us about
много раз когда-то.
back then
Для того,
was repeated many times before.
хотел бы разделить весь мир на...
To talk about it, I would like to
А у меня кнопка не работает? А, работает на 3 части.
break down our world into 3 parts.
Второе.
Information technologies,
С помощью информационных технологий
those who make money using information technologies, and regular people who use information technologies.
работают и
Those who work
Это люди,
in information technologies.
будущее, те, которые
These are the people who
технологии, решения,
make progress,
подходы,
push the future,
на самом деле.
find different approaches to things, looking for vulnerabilities, and so on and so forth. For them,
Власть, они должны уметь делать следующую вещь. Они должны
to
уметь
do it,
думать, они уметь должны развиваться, и этому должно
they have to be able to
которое на самом деле
think,
в стране есть. Я сам
have
практически занимаюсь.
high education.
Не будем
So
говорить,
we have this high education in our country.
что образование, но прекрасно.
So our high education is pretty good.
Время человек выходит, фундаментальное образование дает ему каких-то
When they graduate, the fundamental education
Я
give them the skills that actually change quite quickly.
даже в моей есть некая
I
ошибка. Ищите,
wanted to give you statistics, but statistics actually lies.
к чему я веду? К тому, что любой
So what I'm trying to say that any
должен
infosecurity specialist in the future, they're supposed to develop themselves, train themselves. They need to participate in seminars, trainings, and so on and so forth.
в частности, у нас в компании есть
I'll speak for myself.
которая
In our company, we have an internship, and many of my students, they
мы сделали
went through this internship. And when we decided to have this internship for students,
прямо в отделе, который занимается
we decided to do it in the department that does information security.
стажировку всех преподавателей.
So the head and the teachers who prepare this internship, they sit at the same table with the student that will go for the internship. They sit at the same table and they tell them what they need from them. So when you get this internship,
Кто хочет, может почитать. Здесь ссылочка есть.
so it's actually very good. And when you want to read about it, so you have the link here. So now the boss.
Мы не берем начальников, которые руководят
We're
специалистами.
not talking about bosses
Они все
who
понимают. Мы говорим,
manage IT specialists and infosecurity people. We're talking about those who are making money on IT technologies.
прибыль.
So what is important for IT?
Создавая свой бизнес, выстраивая бизнес-процессы,
The
оценивая,
boss who is building his business and processes,
будет распоряжаться.
they think about how they're going to get the money that they're going to have at their disposal.
Не приносит. И Б приносит вам возможность
Information security doesn't bring you money.
не потерять.
It protects your money
Все
so that you wouldn't lose the money.
оценить ту выгоду.
Sadly, not many bosses can actually appreciate
Привожу пример.
the benefit that they can get
То есть
from this.
площадка, на которой дают много всего. Ну, казалось бы, что такого?
There may be a site
Площадка
selling a lot of stuff.
это час
Let's assume we block it for an hour.
долларов, миллионов,
Throughout this hour,
копилку к этой конторе.
1,000 rubles or dollars will not be received by the website. And we should know how to assess those risks.
Можете поучиться.
And the managers learn how to assess them, how to do it.
Дальнейшей работы в этих самых организациях. Помимо начальников, которые
What's next?
жмутся на ИБ и очень
On top
жмутся на ИБ,
of the managers
рабочие.
who don't really like information security people,
Забивают
they're ordinary workers.
я хочу Телеграм.
They don't care about information security. They want to visit Instagram or Telegram to be happy.
Технологии в своей работе не накосячили, подразделения
For those people
безопасности
not to
чему-то их
blunder,
По-моему,
information security teams
как-то так. Я
should promote awareness among them.
следующее, что обычно
So,
люди работают с информационными технологиями на работе
as a result,
под колпаком. И у них все
those people
здорово. Но
who
что,
use information security tools in offices are under an umbrella.
что там еще люди делают?
But then they return home.
Не с собой. И с информационными технологиями его вроде
They are on their own. There are no security people around.
которые хотят воровать.
They are not protected. Of course, they may have been told about the fact that there are bad guys out there.
Ночью говорит, что он предлагает, не знаю, там,
Don't forget to use passwords and so forth. Oh, well, just imagine you're at home, someone offer you something.
сам информационный
He's a solicitor.
звонит неизвестный человек,
He wants to sell you some cosmetics or something else.
что-то должны, почему-то
Most probably, you will not open the door.
правил, которые
The
надо
same can happen in the internet, or someone may call you. There is a number of rules.
две государственные организации. Одна из них это Минцифра.
Look, there are two
Несколько портальчиков.
government organizations,
Неудивительно,
the Ministry of Digital Technology, and ironically, the second one is FSB. They also have a great portal on information security with a section for children. Just imagine you visit a portal with your kid, and there are cartoons there
безопасности. Почему так можно?
embedded,
И поэтому там
and those cartoons
так и дети
explain to children what can be done, what shouldn't be done, and so forth. A great educational portal.
все печально.
Now to the kids.
Почему?
This is a sad story.
Те люди, которые, с одной стороны, являются
Children,
жестокими, с другой стороны, очень ранимыми. И если
on the one hand, they can be very cruel. On the other hand,
и всегда
they are very vulnerable. If you remember your childhood,
они уходили
you may remember
домой и как-то
we would always meet someone who is a bully
пропитывают всю жизнь
and someone who is being bullied.
некую безнаказанность, из-за чего те, кто в школе могли
Today, we live in the world
превращаются в диких, ну извините за выражение, упырей. Тролль,
where those people,
кто до этого уходили
former bullies,
и приходили домой для того, чтобы передать,
are adults,
они
and they may behave in the same way in the internet.
находиться в условиях
Those who were bullied, they
и на
return home
этом случае
and
более подвержены всему происходящему.
they start using their devices,
Сделали.
and they can become exposed to cyberbullying.
Что надо делать, если ваш ребенок
And we should never forget to
защиту
explain to our children that
информационной безопасности?
what they should do if they are bullied in the cyberspace. Well,
Если вы
to summarize,
живете в этом мире и не учитесь, как жить
If
правильно и безопасно для себя,
you living in this world
рано или поздно
don't learn how to stay safe at a certain point in time, the life itself
порой и очень
will teach you how to do it.
я хотел бы закончить свое выступление.
It is at this point that I'd like to finish my presentation. Thank you once more for being with us, and I wish you good weather and a very good day.
В эфир теперь
Thank you very much.
мы
We
будем...
have recorded your presentation. You are on air.
Ваши аплодисменты, Андрей. Нам нужно понять, на каком...
Dear friends, let's give a round of applause to Andrei. because we need to understand
Спасибо большое.
how he ranks in our today's contest.
Сейчас буквально каких-нибудь несчастных 10, 15, 20
Now,
секунд, и мне наши помощники скажут, на
in
что
some 10 or 20 or 30 seconds,
это говорят.
my assistants will tell me
Сходить дальше. Дальше прямо
who is the winner.
начнется
Meanwhile, I'll tell you what's next.
Говорил специалисты по
At this stage,
этичных
we'll be holding our
высокими
program devoted to cybersecurity,
правового мира максимально
where experts will be explaining the
безопасно VPN. О том, что такое
things such as secure use of VPN, Web 3.0,
про чат GPT. Короче говоря, будет интересно.
Chat GPT, and so forth. It will be a very interesting
Прислали наших победителей.
set of presentations. So, what we have. Number 3, based on your applause, is Pavel Polikov and Michael Kader. Let's give them a round of applause again.
Андрей Пугачев.
Number 2 is Andrei Pugachev.
И победил Алексей.
And the winner is Alexei Novikov,
Спасибо, друзья.
who spoke in the very beginning of our program.
Оказались самыми
Thank you very much.